Hey, good morning, John. A quick demo video for you for your finger magnet of a saber, the Aniflex Elite. This is by 7 Chambers. This had to have a few modifications, but it wasn't too bad, right? You mainly just didn't have the switch PCBs, so I have some individual tactiles in there, no big deal. And then one thing that you didn't send me was the vented pommel. You sent me the static pommel, but for the sake of this demo, I wanted to take that off so you get a true idea of how this sounds if it had the vented pommel. So hopefully you have that. All right, so I'm gonna leave this off. You can see back here all of the sound resonance that you have. It's quite a bit. You can see your speaker back there. You know, my finger. I know it's a very standard unit of measurement, but it fits my entire finger in there before I hit the speaker, right? So that speaker is about right here. How to get to the chassis is you just want to unscrew the handle. All right, once you unscrew that, you just pop it right off. I have a chassis that I had previously designed for the Saber. I've done probably around, I don't know, 15 or 16 of them. I sold a bunch of them. It was just something that I didn't really want to use again. I was getting a little tired of seeing it. So for yours, I decided I was just going to redo the entire thing. All right, so this is what your chassis looks like. You've got your Proffie board up here. It is a snap fit down into the shelf. It's not glued. And then easy access to your SD card and your micro USB. If you pop this board up and down over and over again over time and you feel like it's not staying as tightly as it should, which I don't think you'll have that issue, but in case you do, use a little bit of E6000 on the edge of the board before you snap it down, and that will solve that problem. But I got all the sound fonts on here. You do have a removable battery setup. All right, so spring side over here is your negative for your battery. A 28mm Smuggler's Outpost speaker. This is the Elite version. I also gave you a kill switch right here. All right, and I gave you 2 separate 10-pixel accent strips. So you've got one located on this side. We can get it to focus. And then you've got another one located over here. Now, these 2 strips are wired in parallel, but they are wired separately from the blade. So they'll do a little bit of something different when the saber is off. And then they'll do something different again when we fire the saber up. And if you leave the battery in but do not turn the saber on, they'll time out so they don't kill your battery. All right, so let me find a battery. There it is. We'll throw a battery in here real quick.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
I'll go ahead and I'll flip that kill switch off, and then you see it cuts power, right? Then we can flip it on.
So powerful and so wise.
So that's what they're doing when the saber is off. I did send you a short video, but it's a lot easier to send you in this longer one. All right, until we come over here and hit power, which is the top button. Auxiliary is down here, and you'll see that animation in your strip. You got a Carl Chan PCB in there, so all your lights are lighting up like they should. And I gave you twist off. All right, so once you get that battery in there, just go ahead and throw the handle on. Everything is a very snug fit. This guy barely fits a 28mm speaker. It just takes a little bit of sanding on the speaker to get it to fit, and then it goes in fine. All right, but we can throw this handle on. Per your request, I did leave the Covertech just a little bit loose so it didn't mash down on your grips. That was something that you had mentioned to me that you did on purpose. So once we got that all the way tightened and you know your box is lined up to the side here, we can go ahead and hit power. Now you can see with the vented pommel on, this guy's going to be super loud. And we'll twist it off. To get to your blade retention, it is underneath this switch. All right, so you want to take this switch off. We'll just carefully unscrew it. Be careful because it is a 2-piece switch. We'll put this off to the side. You have a little grub screw right in front of the tactile switch right there. That is your blade retention. All right, so I've already backed it out before I made this video, or before I sat down to make it, so we can put this blade in and then tighten it up. This does take a 7/8 inch blade. Will like to sometimes give myself a little bit of a sanity check just to make sure that the blade is touching the pins, because the blade socket here is a little tight. This is an older 7/8 test blade that I've got. I've sanded it down quite a bit, and it is still pretty tight. All right, but once we've got that in there, we can come back through and we can screw our button back on. Just like that. And now this is all ready. Smooth swing. Flash, flash, flash. Blaster bolt, tap it. Or if you want blade lock up, hold down the aux and hit the saber. It will move up and down the blade, right? Your soundtrack is a long press on the power. And of course, switching sound fonts is just a tap on the auxiliary when the saber's off.
Anakin Skywalker.
You do have color change on here, and it will save the color that you pick. So if you want a different color, hold down auxiliary and hit power. You hear that noise, and then you can just twist the saber to go to any color you like. So if you like that blue better for Anakin, you know, find a color you like and hit power. All right. One thing you don't see is that when you're changing the color to the blade, the LEDs in the chassis will match. All right, they change with the blade. So now you have that blue like that. All right.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Yeah, that's loud. Red blade is really easy to see your blaster bolt deflex and your blade lock up. Just like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and take this blade out. And then, like I said, hopefully you do have that vented pommel at home. If not, I would probably reach out to Lewis and see if he can help you out. He's generally very responsive. All right, so we'll come back over here, take that switch back off so that we can get to the blade retention screw. Nothing wrong with the grub screw. My Allen key is a little worn out. It's time for a new set, so sometimes I have to use it a certain way. But there's nothing wrong with the grub screw. All right, so loosen that blade, put the switch back on, and then we can just come over here and unscrew the handle. Pop it right off like that. And then one more time, I like to show you that the kill switch is doing what it's supposed to do. From right here, we just flip it, and it kills everything like it should. When you're done, come over here from the positive side of the battery by this speaker if you ever want to take it out. And you can pop it out with your finger just like that. All right, but that is basically your Aniflex Elite. So let me know if you got any questions, and I will try to get this out in the mail to you today. Thanks, man.